Yo, what's going on guys? Kashi here. For those of you that don't know me, I have been in the high ticket sales space for the last 2 years and I went from making $0 a month, dropping out of university, all the way to doing 40K a month, and I'm still in this industry to this day. And in this video, I'm literally going to give you the entire roadmap to hit 10K a month as simply as possible. And honestly, the reason I'm making this video is because there's so much fluff online about what it actually takes to get to 10K a month. It can be very overwhelming for someone looking to get into the space. And this is exactly what I did to go from 0 to 10K a month in under 6 months, travel the world, have freedom, and give back to my family. Right? So let's get started. What even is high ticket sales? Well, high ticket sales is one of the most valuable skill sets that any young guy or girl can learn in today's age. I'll tell you why. Think about it. Sales is literally the ability to bring money into a business. Can you think of any other skill that is more valuable than literally bringing money to a business owner? There isn't, right? Sales is one of the most valuable skill sets any young guy or girl can learn. And in this economy, especially in 2025, online influencers, TikTok, YouTube, online businesses, they're booming. They're increasing more than ever. And I'm sure if you guys can think about it, you can think of your top 3 or 5 creators that you follow online. Let me give you a live example of this. Here I have a fitness coach called Charlie, and he has 500,000 organic followers, and he sells a high ticket mentorship program that teaches people how to get jacked because he's done it himself. Now you can imagine, because he has such a large amount of following, thousands of people reach out to him on a daily basis wanting to and are interested in buying his mentorship program. However, because he's so famous, he doesn't have enough time and enough energy to hop on Zoom calls every single day for, 12, 13 hours a day to close people into his mentorship program. He just can't do that, which is why what online creators do is they hire high ticket sales reps like us to come in and close the deals. And in return for that, we get a percentage commission, which could go anywhere from 5% up to 15% per sale that comes in. Cool. So now we know what high ticket sales is. So how do we actually get into this space? And what I want you to do is I want you to go grab a pen and paper, and I want you to just take dot point notes as I go. That way you don't forget anything and you know exactly what to implement at the end of this video. And the first step that we need to do is we need to find a role or opportunity to sell for. What do I mean by that? Well, an opportunity, for example, is, let's say I was closing for Charlie. That is an opportunity where I'm selling a high ticket product. So you can imagine Charlie's not the only coach in the online space. There are thousands of other coaches and online businesses that need sales reps. And what we need to do is find an opportunity to sell on. Otherwise, we'll never end up making money. So what's the first step? The first step, write this down, is going to be networking. Now, me, myself, I've invested, over $50,000 into my own mentorship. And out of all the sales coaching and training that I have consumed, the best way to land an opportunity is by networking. And I'll give you a real life example. Let's look at the biggest companies in today's world: Google, Microsoft, Apple. These tech companies give their employees salaries of $200,000, $300,000, sometimes even $500,000 every single year. And the only way to land these opportunities is by knowing someone that works for the company itself and getting referred onto it. 80% of the employees in these big companies are hired internally through referrals, right? Not through job applications, not through Seek, not through Indeed. It's done through networking. Exact same thing applies in high ticket sales. Now, the biggest issue that most people do when they get started in the high ticket sales space is they don't focus on finding an opportunity. Instead, they focus on building their sales skills and doing a bunch of role play. And this is what 99% of gurus teach online, which is just not true. You're going to stay broke. When you're starting off and you want to go from 0 to 10K a month, 80% of that is dictated by what opportunity that you are on. And this is what I did to land every single one of my roles from $600 a month all the way to 40K a month. This is the technique I used. Now, step 2 is going to be outreach. So write that down for number 2. And outreach is how we're going to reach out to these other sales reps. That way we can get referred onto the company. Now, the biggest problem that I see when people outreach is they outreach to the wrong people. They go and outreach to the company owners and founders. Picture this. I gave you an example of fitness coach Charlie, who has 500,000 followers. And what a lot of beginners do is they go and outreach to someone like Charlie and message him, hey, do you have a role available? Do you think Charlie is going to respond to you from the thousands and thousands of DMs that he gets a day? No, he's not, right? He has other things to do with his life. That is why the best place to outreach is with other sales reps who don't get as many messages, they're not as well known, and they can actually get you into the company. Now, in terms of what to message these people, this is where most people overthink it and overanalyze it. It is not hard. In my friendly advice would be just to be human, become friends, and build a relationship instead of sending spammy scripted messages off like ChatGPT. It just doesn't work. And I'm speaking from experience because I get a lot of these messages every single day. Specifically, do you have a role for me, bro? Like, that just does not work in this industry. And anyone who's telling you to go outreach offer owners and managers and send messages like this straight away asking for a role, they just don't know what they're doing. Cool. So now we've outreached to these people and we know how to outreach properly. Let's go into step 3, which is going to be interview skills and how to pass these interviews. Now, the average sales rep does not do enough research before they go into the interview. I have taken so many interviews in my life, probably 50 interviews, and I'm a manager myself who takes interviews for sales reps. And the biggest mistake I see is people just show up rocking a t-shirt and having no clue what the company does. The reason I was able to land such great opportunities is because I would research the company name. I would research the company history. I would find out who all works at the company. I would watch their VSL 3 to 4 times over. I would research into the person who's interviewing me by going through their Facebook, going through their Instagram, knowing everything about this person before I hop on. So the best advice I have for interview skills is not what you do on the interview, it's what you do before the interview, which is research. Now, of course, you still have to take the interview, right? And my advice for any beginners that have sales interviews coming up is conviction is 80% of the game. Please do not try to fake this by having scripted answers, automated responses from ChatGPT. Like, people see through this. You're speaking to sophisticated interview skills. What you want to do is you want to sound sophisticated and have an idea of how to sell yourself, especially to the question of, tell me a little bit about yourself. Conviction is 80% of the game to go from 0 to 10K a month. And this is exactly what I use myself to crush some of the most competitive interviews in the space for 8-9-figure companies that allowed me to do 10, 20, 30, 40K a month. And it isn't just coming from me. Let's look at some of my students. For example, Vanch. Vanch landed 16 interviews in 2 weeks. 16. Some of you guys are struggling to even land one. And the reason he was able to do that was because he used all the techniques and tactics and strategies that I teach inside my program. And for example, he landed a closing role out of those 16 for an opportunity that easily is able to make him 20K a month on target earnings. So now we know step 3. Step 4 is going to be screening the offer. Now, this is the step that most people just skip. They just don't do it all. So what is screening the offer? Screening the offer means seeing and calculating if this offer is actually going to make me money. And this is why most people end up broke. It's simple math. And the questions I would ask the offer owner on the interview is, hey, how much are other closers doing? What is the top closer doing? How much monthly revenue is the business doing every single month? And if no one on that opportunity is doing 10K a month or they're very far from it, how do you expect to make 10K a month? It just doesn't happen. It's very unlikely. So most people skip this step and they find an opportunity where they're just slaving away for $1,000 or $2,000 a month. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. I definitely did myself when I started off in the space. I was on an opportunity working 12 hours a day cold calling, making $600 a month. Compared to towards where I am now and with closing where I'm able to work way less and make a lot more money. All right, that's really what it is. And I'll give you an example of a good offer. This is TJ. TJ is one of my students who landed a role as a closer with pretty much 0 closing experience, and they offer him a 5K per month base, plus commissions, plus a brand new laptop, plus a subscription to the actual offer itself. Boom. This is what an actual good offer looks like, guys. Now, step 5 is obviously going to be closing the deals itself. Okay, so once you've landed this interview, you've chosen your good opportunity, you need to close the deals. Now, the average sales rep that I see, they just wing the sales process by watching reels, fancy YouTube videos, or just unrealistic high ticket closers that post these ridiculous scripts online. Now, here's my opinion on it. These scripts and fancy frameworks do not work most of the time in a real life sales scenario. So if I was a beginner trying to go from 0 to 10K a month and you're brand new onto an opportunity, I would go to the top sales guy who's already doing 10K a month on your offer and ask him, hey man, what does your process look like? And I would replicate that to a T. Now, another thing you can do is obviously invest into a mentor, and that'll just fast track your entire sales skills by 10x. Just makes the whole process faster. So those are the 5 steps. Now, after we start closing our first couple deals, really all you need is simple math to hit 10K a month. Let's actually break it down. Okay, I'll do it with you. 10K a month is $333 a day. Okay, and let's say you're not even closing and you're just an appointment setter. On average, the appointment setter makes a 5% commission. Worst case scenario, you sell a 5K product, you're just a setter, you'll make $250 for every set that closes. So all you need to do is get 1 to 2 sets a day that close to hit 10K a month. That's it, right? And if you're a closer, then your job just gets even easier. And this isn't just coming from me, guys. I can show you endless results, right? So let's go. This is Adrian. Adrian is someone who did 16K in 4 weeks, which is basically 1 month, using the strategies and techniques I'm talking about. This is Justifier, who did 10K in the month of July, which is this month. And I can keep going. 3.3K commissions in 3 days. 1K day. 2.2K day. 1.2K day. 2K day again. 1K day again. I'll keep going. Another one. 2.5K day. 1K day the next day. Another one would be 1K day. Again, 8K in commissions for the month. 1K in 40 minutes. Guys, the game is so easy. Like, the bar is so low. Another one, 2.4K in commissions this week. I'm at 5K for the month. 800 commissions in a day. 2.4K commissions in a day. And I can keep going and going and going, but you get the point. The bar is so low, and if you actually implement everything in this video, you will get to 10K a month sooner than I got there, which was 6 months. Now, a common question that I get asked a lot in my DMs and just in general is, if it's so easy, why doesn't everyone do it? I'll tell you why. As promised, I literally gave you guys the entire roadmap that I did to go from 0 to 10K a month with a step-by-step actionable plan on what to do in each stage, right? However, the sad reality is most of you guys watching this just aren't going to take action on it. And honestly, it's a bit sad to hear, but it is what it is, and I can't do much. I can't force you to take action. And the reason why most people won't take action on this is because they have a deep fear or deep skepticism rooted within them about online money. Most people think it's not real. Most people think it's a scam. And high ticket sales isn't really a common way to make money online. It isn't really saturated. So a lot of people haven't even heard of it. Right? And in the event that any of you guys are stuck at one of these stages, like you're spending way too long in one of them, or you haven't even started and you just want to fast track through all the stages like I did to go from 0 to 10K as fast as possible, what I'll do is I'll leave a link below with my Instagram where you can message me and I'll see if I can help and answer any questions you have. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.